Another thing I am also interested into, this is kind of a side note, is majority reaction, because I know a lot of people who will be watching this are people who are fans of the anime, the manga, or whatever the case may be. Obviously they'll most likely, as I've kind of done myself, comparison between this and the anime and the manga, as well as comparisons between this and the Japanese movies. What I'm also curious about though is like, because this is on Netflix, it's a big platform, and so I feel like it's going to get, I feel stupid and shitty saying this, mainstream attention, in the sense of like there will be people who probably might come across this movie and they're like, oh, what is this about, who are not fans of anime or manga, or at the very least have never read or watched Death Note, so this might be a new, they're like, oh well, I might as well check this out to see what it's all about. So I'm very curious, like how many of those people are going to go into this and watching it, because the thing is, like, obviously Netflix has kind of got up in, I guess you could call it, controversy over most recently the show 13 Reasons Why, and they got like a new movie coming up called, was it To the Bone? Basically they deal with some heavy subject matters, 13 Reasons Why, suicide, and some other things, as well as like the To the Bone, like anorexia. And the thing is, like, because, you know, put it bluntly, like Death Note is kind of a controversial series. Like it's one of the few like anime, like, or at least anime or manga that I've ever come across that's been heavily controversial, to the point it is actually banned in certain countries because of the way certain people latch onto this series. People, it's a whole thing. Like I highly recommend you read into it. It's very like fascinating. But I'm curious to see how many of those people will look into this as like, how can you glorify a series like this? You know, much like those same examples. I don't know if people, I'm curious to see how people will react. Will people who are not familiar with the series watch this and like, no, you need to take this down because it's, you know, glorifying murder or something like that? Like, to me, I mean, obviously it's a fictional story taken in a fictional setting, but I think at the same time, like, you know, there's that possibility people, kind of the same argument people have towards video games of being like, oh, like, video game is the trick, like they trigger people to kind of commit violent acts and stuff like that. I feel like there is a potential for people to make those type of remarks, which I will bring it up again, as I brought up earlier. Like the thing about Death Note is the fact is that it is a philosophical series. Like at least that's how I look at it, because it's like at the end of the day, where does your philosophy on right and wrong, justice and non-justice, like where do you fall in that spectrum? Where do your morals lie? Like it's a very moral series of like, if you had the power to enact justice, would you take it into your own hands and stuff like that?